Our big focus. US President Donald Trump threatened to eliminate Harvard University's tax-exempt status following the Ivy League school's refusal to implement policy changes demanded by Trump's administration. So basically, all major colleges and universities are actually tax-exempt organizations, and the US government revoking that status over policy disagreements would be unprecedented. The US tax code also grants exemptions to a wide swath of organizations. This actually includes charities as well as religious institutions and even some political organizations. But Republicans have taken aim at the Ivy League through the tax code in the past as well. Congress imposed a 1.4% tax on high-dollar university endowments like Harvard's in 2017, and Republicans may expand the levy in the tax package they are currently assembling. But Donald Trump has threatened to eliminate Harvard University's tax-exempt status following the Ivy League school's refusal to implement policy changes that were demanded by his administration. In fact, Harvard University is the oldest and richest college in the US. They have rejected the demands to make a slate of policy changes. You must also note that all major colleges and universities are actually tax-exempt organizations, and the US government revoking this status over policy disagreements would be unprecedented. Listen in to what the White House had to say regarding the matter.
The president floated on Truth Social, I believe, the possibility of removing tax-exempt status. How serious is that threat, and are there other universities he's considering?
First, when it comes to Harvard, as I said, the president has been quite clear they must follow federal law. He also wants to see Harvard apologize, and Harvard should apologize for the egregious anti-Semitism that took place on their college campus against Jewish American students.
Well, for further clarity on how this will pan out, we have with us Harvard alumni Richard Painter, who's also a law professor at the University of Minnesota Law School. Thank you so much, Mr. Painter, for making time for us. Many argue that Trump's team's stated goal is fighting anti-Semitism on campus. But some say it's clear that this is a broader effort to exert control over an elite institution whose membership is overwhelmingly hostile to the MAGA right. What's your take, Mr. Painter?
Well, first of all, if the president wants to propose legislation to Congress to increase taxes on endowments of wealthy universities, he could do that, and Congress could try to pass a bill. But that would focus on the endowments of all wealthy universities, and he couldn't single out Harvard. You can't single out a single nonprofit that you don't happen to like. There are plenty of very conservative nonprofit organizations which also have tax-exempt status. But certainly you can pass bills that would increase the taxation on very large endowments. You could increase the taxation on very large foundations. But you certainly couldn't single out the conservative or the liberal foundations for separate tax treatment. That would be unconstitutional under the First Amendment of the Constitution. What's going on right now is the president is threatening to withhold funds for medical research and various other contracts that Harvard and other universities have, because those universities have had the difficulty dealing with their anti-Semitism issues. This is really a hardball tactic of the Trump administration. Everybody's recognized there are anti-Semitism issues that do need to be addressed on college campuses,
Right.
But the issues exist across the United States and around the world, and to single out particular universities for vindictive treatment is not the way to go about doing that. And also, Harvard has some contractual rights to a number of these grants, depending on the circumstances. They're, of course, going to go into court and sue for their contractual rights to what the government has agreed to.
Well, let's see how this plays out, Mr. Painter. Thank you so much for joining us. We will, of course, keep in touch with you for regular updates.